Hi everyone, my name is James. Now I will guide you how to assemble a personal computer and install Windows. Keep in mind that this procedure might have flaws and mistakes, and I'm open for your critics. I will guide you step by step. If there is something missing, I recommend to look at tutorials out there that scatters in social media. I'm still a 10th class student. Of course, I will try my best for this based on what I know. I'll explain simply in English. Tools and materials. Tools. What you need to have is number 1 is Phillips screwdriver, 2 anti-static wrist strap, 3 thermal paste, only if your CPU cooler does not include it. PC components. 1 PC case, which is the metal box that holds all hardware. 2nd, power supply unit or PSU, provides electricity to all components. 3 motherboards, the main board where all parts are connected. 4 processor GPU. 5 CPU cooler, keeps the processor from overheating. 6 RAM memory, helps the computer run programs smoothly. 7 is SSD or HDD storage drive, stores Windows and files. 8 graphics card, GPU, optional needed for gaming graphics work. 9 is cables, SATA cables and power cables. 10 is monitor, keyboard and mouse. 11 is Windows installation, USB. Here are the step-by-steps that you should do. Number 1. Prepare the workspace. Choose a clean, dry table. Make sure you have enough space to place all components safely. Wearing an anti-static wrist strap helps prevent damage to electronic parts and the safety of your own hands. The next step are the second step. Install the power supply or PSU. Place the PSU into its position in the PC case. Usually, this position is located at the bottom rear part of the case. Align the screw holes and secure the PSU hole using 4 screws. This step ensures that the power supply is firmly attached and ready to provide electricity later. The third step is install the CPU on the motherboard. Open the CPU socket on the motherboard by lifting the small metal lever. Hold the CPU carefully by the edges and match the arrow on the CPU with the arrow on the socket. Gently place the CPU into the socket without pressing it too hard. Lower the lever again to lock the processor in place. This step is important because the CPU must sit correctly for the computer to function. The fourth step is apply the thermal paste and install the CPU cooler. If your cooler does not already have thermal paste applied, place a small drop in the center of the CPU. Mount the cooler on top of the CPU according to the cooler's design. This helps transfer heat from the CPU to the cooler so the processor stays at a safe temperature. The fifth step is to install the RAM. Open the RAM slot clips on the motherboard. Align the RAM stick with the slot and press it down until the clips lock automatically. RAM must be installed properly for the system to run smoothly. The sixth step is to install the motherboard into the case. Carefully place the motherboard inside the PC case. Align it with the standoff small metal support pillars. Screw the motherboard into the standoff securely. This step ensures the motherboard stays stable and does not touch the metal case directly. The seventh step is to connect the power cables. Plug the 24-pin main power cable into the motherboard. Connect the 8-pin CPU power cable near the processor area. If your GPU requires extra power, its cables will be connected later. Correct power connections are necessary for the computer to turn on. The eighth step is to install the storage drive, which is SSD or HDD. Place the SSD or HDD inside its driver bay or mounting bracket. Secure it with screws, connect the SATA data cable to the motherboard and the SATA power cable from the PSU. This drive will hold the Windows operating system and your files. The ninth step is to install the graphics card if needed. Insert the graphics card into the PCIe slot on the motherboard. Tighten it with screws so it does not move. Connect any required power cables from the PSU. A GPU is optional but necessary for gaming or graphics heavy tasks. The 10th step is to connect front panels cable. Attach the small front panels cables from the PC case to the motherboard's pins. These cables include the power button, reset button, USB ports, and audio ports. This allows the computer case buttons to function normally. The 11th step is to recheck all the connections. Before turning on the PC, you must ensure every cable is firmly attached, all components are installed correctly, no loose screws are inside the case. This prevents errors when the computer starts. The 12th step is to turn on the PC. Connect the monitor, keyboard and mouse, turn on the power supply and press the case power button. If successful, the PC will show the BIOS screen. The 13th step is to enter BIOS and set boot priority. Press the BIOS key, is usually the delete button, F2 or F12. In the BIOS menu, set the USB drive as the first boot device. This tells the PC to start from the Windows installer. The 14th step is to install Windows. Insert the Windows USB installer and restart the PC. Follow the on-screen instruction. First is select the language. Second, choose the drive where the Windows will be installed. 3. Wait until the installation is complete. 15th step is finish the Windows setup. After installation, choose your region, create a username, and complete the basic setup steps. When finished, the Windows desktop will appear and your PC is ready to use. Congratulations and thank you. Congratulations, you have reached the end of this procedure text and this video. Thank you for reading this guide about assembling a PC and installing Windows. Please keep in mind that although the steps are written in simple English and easy to understand terms, the real process can be quite complex. Building a computer requires patience, careful handling, and basic understanding of computer hardware. If you are not familiar with the computer world, I recommend watching tutorial videos on trusted social media or YouTube channels. If you face any problems, do not hesitate to ask a professional technician for help. Safety and accuracy are very important when building a PC. Thank you and goodbye. Special thanks to Mr. Sugeng for teaching me English language. I genuinely appreciate it. Amazing teacher.